the Strait of Hormuz should be opened up for commercial traffic. Is it possible?
The short answer, Tony, is yes. The slightly longer answer is it could take some time.
What if trouble in one narrow stretch of sea could raise fuel and shipping costs far beyond the Middle East? The Strait of Hormuz is watched because huge oil tankers pass through it every day. Yet the story is larger than ships and politics. Nearby, Hormuz Island rises from the water in red, yellow, orange, and purple layers. Fishing families live beside a route tied to the world economy, while corals and mangroves survive extreme heat and salt. This is the hidden contrast of Hormuz: global power moving across the sea, ordinary life continuing on shore, and a fragile natural system holding both worlds together. An island painted by the earth. Hormuz is both the name of a famous strait and the name of an Iranian island near its northern side. They are connected, but they are not the same place. The strait is the sea passage between Iran and Oman. Hormuz Island sits inside this wider setting, close enough to watch ships move toward the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. The first thing that makes the island unforgettable is its color. Red soil lies beside yellow, orange, white, and purple rock. These shades come from layers rich in salt, iron, and other minerals that were pushed, folded, and exposed over a very long time. The mountains can look arranged like a giant painting, but the artist is geology. Wind, heat, and rare rain keep shaping the surface, slowly revealing new patterns. This beauty is not soft or easy. The land is dry, shade is limited, and fresh water has always been precious. For people living here, the island is not simply an unusual travel picture. It is home. Daily life has been built around the sea, local knowledge, family ties, and the ability to work within a harsh climate. For centuries, merchants, sailors, and empires were drawn to this region because it stood near major trade routes. The island's position made it valuable long before modern oil tankers appeared. That history helps explain why Hormuz still feels like a meeting point between local life and much larger forces. Ordinary lives beside extraordinary wealth. From the water, the scale of the global economy is hard to miss. Enormous tankers carry cargo worth millions of dollars. Beyond them are ports, refineries, pipelines, insurance contracts, naval patrols, and decisions made in distant capitals. Yet on the island and nearby coasts, many families still judge the day by simpler questions. Will the weather allow a boat to leave? Will the catch be enough? Can work continue through the heat? This contrast is one of the strongest truths of Hormuz. A route that matters to energy markets exists beside small communities whose lives do not resemble the wealth moving past them. The ships may be part of global trade, but the shoreline belongs to fishers, shopkeepers, workers, children, and older people who follow the rhythm of the island. Fishing remains more than a job. It is food, income, memory, and a link between generations. Local sailors understand currents, wind, shallow water, and changing seasons in a way that cannot be learned from a distant map. When conditions change at sea, the effect is immediate. A poor catch can shape a family's week long before it becomes part of any official report. That is why Hormuz should not be reduced to military maps or oil statistics. Those facts matter, but they describe only one layer. The people living beside the route face the same heat, uncertainty, and cost of living as anyone else, while also carrying the pressure of a place watched by the world. The narrow route that moves global energy. The Strait of Hormuz connects the Persian Gulf with the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. At its narrowest, the wider strait is only a few dozen kilometers across. Ships do not use all of that space freely. Large vessels follow organized traffic lanes, moving carefully in opposite directions with a separation zone between them. For a fully loaded tanker, small mistakes can become serious problems. The reason the strait receives so much attention is simple. There are very few practical alternatives for much of the energy that leaves the Persian Gulf by sea. According to the United States Energy Information Administration, about 20 million barrels of oil per day moved through the strait in 2024. That was about 1/5 of global petroleum liquids consumption and more than 1/4 of seaborne oil trade. Around 1/5 of global liquefied natural gas trade also passed through, much of it from Qatar. This does not mean every tense headline will stop shipping. It means the risk is taken seriously. A temporary disruption could delay supplies, raise insurance and transport costs, and push energy prices higher. Even when ships continue moving, fear alone can affect markets because buyers and sellers must consider what could happen next. Powerful countries therefore watch the passage closely. Regional governments protect exports and coastlines. Importing countries worry about reliable supplies. Shipping companies study routes and security. The strait becomes a place where geography limits choices. Economics raises the stakes, and politics adds pressure. A narrow channel of water can influence decisions made thousands of kilometers away. A tough sea with fragile limits. The waters around Hormuz are warm, salty, and demanding. Some corals in the Persian Gulf can survive summer temperatures that would badly damage many reefs elsewhere. This unusual heat tolerance has made them important to scientists studying how marine life responds to warming oceans. But toughness does not mean safety. These corals already live close to their limits, and extreme heat can still cause bleaching, disease, and death. Mangroves in the wider region also survive difficult conditions. Their roots stand in salty coastal water, while the trees use special ways to block, store, or release excess salt. Mangrove areas provide shelter and nursery space for fish, crabs, birds, and other life. They also help hold coastal soil in place. When these habitats shrink, the damage can move through the food chain. For fishing communities, environmental loss is not an abstract issue. Fewer healthy nursery areas can mean fewer fish. Damaged reefs can reduce the shelter and feeding grounds that marine species need. Pollution, coastal construction, intense shipping, and rising temperatures can place several kinds of pressure on the same system at once. Hormuz, therefore, holds two kinds of importance. One is measured in barrels, ships, prices, and strategic maps. The other is measured in living reefs, coastal trees, fishing boats, and families. The global story moves quickly, but the local and natural stories change day by day, often without cameras watching. Hormuz is not only a dangerous point on an energy map, and it is not only a colorful island rising from a hot sea. It is a place where geology, trade, nature, and human endurance meet in the same narrow space. Tankers may carry the cargo that attracts global attention, but fishing boats, coral colonies, mangrove roots, and village streets reveal what is truly at stake. Understanding Hormuz means seeing both scales at once, a passage that can affect markets around the world and a home where people continue to work, adapt, and protect a delicate way of life. That fuller view turns a headline into a human story worth remembering. If you enjoyed this deep dive into their life and career, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next story.